This is DVD Future Audio Video Reviews. The film we'll be reviewing is Ninja. It's directed by Isaac Florentine, written by Michael Hurst and Boraz Davidson, from a story by Boraz Davidson. The film was originally released by New Image and is being distributed on Blu-ray and DVD from First Look Studios. This is a film that, despite itself, is actually pretty awesome. The movie is terrible. I won't lie. The film is just loaded with the usual genre trappings. You've got cheap-looking sets. The CG is sometimes downright embarrassing. Everything is just corny and cheesy. It's over the top. There's wooden acting. There's even little flaws, like there's no punctuation on the subtitles. The hard-coded subtitles are in the film. There's no punctuation on like half of them. Some of them there is, some of them aren't. The film just rips off just about everything. There's elements from the Ninja Turtles films, from Kill Bill, Blade 2, Highlander, Casino Royale, Spider-Man 2, Batman Begins. The construct is very similar to Ninja Assassin and G.I. Joe. It sort of takes that sort of light versus dark element, particularly from G.I. Joe franchise, and plays around with it. And we even have one ninja, the bad guy, Masazuka, actually carries around a gun and fires it in a couple moments. And it seemed like those particularly Ninja Assassin and G.I. Joe were films it was modeled after. I really didn't expect much with this film. The case looked like it was designed by an amateur designer who built this. It almost looks like a fan-made cover, and I looked at it and I thought, this is going to be just a terrible movie. I was not convinced it was going to be all that intriguing, but it wins you over pretty quickly. The film is about 86 minutes long, and there's probably a good 65-70 minutes of fighting in the film. So, even though the story isn't particularly all that interesting, but, with only 15-20 minutes of real story, who really cares? You can almost fast forward through it and enjoy the movie just as much as just a spectacle of terrific fighting, because that's really what you get to see in this film. Scott Adkins, in the film, he plays our main character, Casey. He's sort of the hero ninja who's facing off against the villain ninja in the film. At first, I thought an American playing this sort of stereotypical Japanese ninja character, I thought that was just going to be cheesy. It felt like a definite throwback to stuff like American Ninja, but it just seemed really cheesy. I didn't feel like it was going to work, but probably less than 20 minutes into the film, I was sold on Scott Adkins. Now, he's not a great actor at all. His dialogue he's given just terrible dialogue. His performance is incredibly wooden. Every time, the little the guy speaks, the better, to be honest. Now, I was kind of surprised that he was actually a British actor. I mean, he plays an American in the film, but he is a British actor. It's a bit weird that he's sort of raised in Japan, but he has this sort of New York type accent. I'm sure it's not necessarily his fault, more of the flaw of the director for not really knowing how to guide him in the film. But his performance is incredibly flat. Almost everything he says, anything that comes out of his mouth, is just ridiculous. It doesn't help that he looks like this weird sort of cross between Eli Roth and Ben Stiller, only just loaded on roids. But as soon as the guy clinches his fist and gets in a fight, it's incredible. He's great with martial arts. He's great with weapons. Even in the ninja costumes that the characters wear in the film, and he doesn't wear it throughout the film. He does wear it in a few sequences. He sells it, and he does a really great job with the martial arts. I am not sure whether all of it is practical, but quite a bit of his fight sequences look practically done. They look like there's minimal amount of wires. If there's CG at all with his fights, I didn't notice much of anything other than probably deleting some wires occasionally. He sells the role. He makes the movie intriguing. He makes it entertaining to watch. He's genuinely good in the film. Yeah, the fight sequences are absolutely terrific. Tsuyoshi Ihara, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, plays Masazuka, the villain, and he's actually I think he's the ninja sort of referenced in the film, because he's sort of your primary villain, and he's running around trying to basically find his birthright. There's this it's an incredibly convoluted story. Basically, at the ninja temple where they were both trained, there's this box that contains all this ninja gear, and he's looking for it. It's shipped off to New York, and he goes after it, and He does manage to sort of track it down, but in between there's this subplot about some evil gang called the Cross. They're run by some billionaire, I think oil tycoon, who's looking to gain more power, and he's sort of in cahoots with the bad guy Mazazuka, and it's really incredibly convoluted. It barely connects. It's really, honestly, it's only there so that there is an excuse for there to be just random goons for both the hero and villain to dispatch, and we're the better for it because there are goons coming out of the woodworks in this film. I mean every sequence is loaded with probably a good 20-30 goons that just get killed, and not to mention innocent bystanders who just die left and right in the film. I was genuinely surprised by how many people who have nothing to do with the story are just killed. This is a film that is not good. Not everybody's gonna like this film. It's not going to be a film that appeals to somebody who's looking for something a little more sophisticated. This is a pretty cheesy movie, but the fight sequences really make up for it. Scott Adkins proves he is a capable action star. If he can get a little bit better dialogue and improve his performance, he's definitely going to be a great... I don't think he'll ever be a mainstream actor, but a mainstream big budget actor, but I think he'll be a terrific B-movie direct-to-video action star, and that's fine. You know, he does a great job with what he has, and he's a lot of fun to watch on screen. Every time he was in a fight, it was just terrific to watch. I'm going to give the film an A for entertainment value. It's an incredibly exciting film. Like I said, the martial arts sequences are a lot of fun, and there's a lot of them, and the movie's in just almost non-stop action. Film value, I'm going to give this one a C-. Like I said, the film is not particularly well made. The story is pretty old. Hopefully, the guys who worked on this film, hopefully they'll make a better movie next time around, because the movie they've made is very entertaining, but not particularly good. Overall, though, I'm going to give this one a final grade of a B+. Yeah, if you don't like it, you're only out 86 minutes. It's not a particularly long film. If you do like it, great. I think this film needs to be seen by the right audience. You know, cult fans, fans of martial arts films, fans of ninjas or ninja culture, and fans of action pictures in general. If you're not really looking for high art, you're probably going to enjoy this film. And for what it is, Ninja is a pretty solid piece of entertainment.